Okay, this is channel update for January. They're getting a bit late now in the month, I've noticed, so I'm trying to make sure we do one a month. Now, I do today have a list, which is good. It's a little bit more organised. So, I guess the first thing is I've changed the name of the channel. It was never meant to be my name, Jason Champion. I was going to try and be a little bit more inventive than that. It was just blocked on YouTube for whatever reason until recently. So I've now changed the channel to Champion Scale Modelling. Not necessarily because I feel as though I'm a champion of scale modelling, but more in the fact that it is my last name. So you know, I put that to things, and Champion Scale Modelling, there's the name. So that's the first thing, so don't be alarmed, it is still me, so that's good. There's been a slight change with YouTube recently. Only really affects people who monetize their channel. I do monetize my channel for numerous reasons. I wasn't going to initially, but I felt that I did make a small introduction video, like for each video, and I thought, well, if I just got rid of that and, you know, I turn on adverts, it shouldn't make a lot of difference, which I don't think it does. It's 5 seconds, so hopefully you can bear with that. The long and short of it is, it looks like that'll be going for a short period, but I do like to monetize the videos, not for any reason, certainly not because it makes a lot of money, that's for sure. It's more, it's, you know, across a year it's a small amount, in you know, it goes some way to buying new paints and stuff like that and a few kits, so it all helps. It doesn't channel me into trying to make content to try and get views, as it were. I did do that initially with certain things, like, you know, brand new reviews of stuff, just to get the channel up and running, but I felt when it got to 500 subscribers, that was, you know, I'm then imagining the subscriber base is my audience. I'm not really sort of making videos for anyone other than who's subscribed. So hopefully that's good. The changes with YouTube mean that you know, you can't be monetized unless you have 1,000 subscribers, which is quite a lot for a new channel. I only started in July, so it's a bit of a stretch to expect to have that. I am very grateful and very surprised at how the channel has grown. I think we're up to over 700 subscribers already. So thanks to everyone who has taken this time to subscribe. If there is anyone watching this video that isn't subscribed, if you would do me the favour of subscribing, that would help me just to get to my sort of milestone in my mind, which is 1,000 subscribers. I don't know why, I just have sort of set in my head that things start happening around the 1,000 subscriber number. It's not that I sit here every day looking at those numbers and waiting for it to go to 1,000, but it's just something nice. It's I don't know, it's like a sense of achievement, I guess. So that's that bit, the tricky bit of YouTube. Personally, I'm having a great time on YouTube. I think it's great. It's really revitalised my modelling, and giving me an excuse to sit at the bench, to make a video, to think, right, well, let's progress, let's push on. Making a video, it's making the parts, and like with the Condor, where I've really struggled somewhat in recent weeks to keep going at that, because the first 2 parts of the video are up. I feel honour bound to get to the end of it, which I'm happy to report that's one of the first things we can look at. Here is the Condor. Perhaps doesn't look a whole lot much different than when you last looked at it in the last update, but believe you me, there's been a lot of work gone into this just to get it to the stage where I think I'm okay now to actually start hitting it with some paint. I have had a terrible time trying to get these seams sorted. This is nothing to do with the kit. I'm predominantly an armour modeller historically, so I don't usually have to deal with seam lines and panel lines and rescribing and re-riveting, and my weak points with modelling are they're certainly seam lines along fuselages and getting rid of them. I have a terrible time if there's any issue with a sunken seam line, or you know, it sinking over time with the fast action glue and all the rest of it. But mainly putting in these panel lines, I just need to practice. I've not got it. Anyway, to cut a long story short, that has taken me a lot longer to rescribe the top parts of this aeroplane than it should. And I want to do a good job because, you know, I like to make sure they're at least straight, and I've had wonky ones, and I've even broken through the glue seam. So there's a hole in some of the panel lines. So I'm just trying to work that out, and the good news is I think today I should have this up to a satisfactory point. So then I'll reprimer it with this grey coat and then start hitting it with some paint. So I'm going to do, the last update will be completing this kit. So when you see that up, you'll know I've got to the end of it. So that's the first thing. So the Condor is coming, do not fear. There will probably be a couple build videos out before that part is out, because I've been doing a few other builds. But not to worry. Condor is coming. I think in the future, if I'm doing big builds, I think I might try and at least get certainly past the difficult part, so I know I'm at the end of the build before I start putting the videos up, mainly just for the continuity of the channel. So, you know, if you start watching a build, you don't have to then wait a month to see the end of it. I think that makes sense. So hopefully everyone's happy with that. So that's the first thing. I've been thinking about taking the channel a little bit more seriously now in 2018. I started it, like I said, last July, a little bit on a whim, and then liked how it sort of progressed and grown, and I like the idea of films, making videos, and I'd never done that before, so I'm still sort of learning and trying to get a bit more clarity, and I enjoy doing the reviews and all of that sort of stuff. So hopefully everyone's happy with the content, and hopefully you should see it progressing and becoming better. That's my plan. Some of the early reviews I did, I think I might go back and redo some of them, because they're not that good, and you know, they're quite good kits. So that might be something that will happen, and then I'll get rid of the older videos. Also, I'm going to carry on with the reviews. I like doing reviews. I think it's good to have an inbox review. There is an argument that two inbox reviews being helpful or not, because you're not seeing the parts go together, but I think it's really good to get inside a box and have a look at parts of the kit. So I will be doing more of those, as well as current builds that are on the go. So things that will be coming up shortly is the Panzer I command tank that I did. I've done a review of. I've done a full build video of that, and we're at this stage now. So this is the filter has been applied here, an oil filter. Camo's done. I just need to do the air recognition markings, probably do a pin wash, mat the thing down, and then start putting pigments on. So we're very close to getting that full video out. That's all filmed. There will be a few more reveal videos of a few kits I've been doing at the moment. Apologies to any of the guys who have subbed to my channel from the earlier aircraft stuff. It's going to be a little bit heavy on the armour at the moment. That is only because the next model show I've got in a couple of weeks is actually at Bovington. So, you know, it's big tank heavy. And for the Spanish Civil War SIG that I will be exhibiting as, I'm trying to get the tanks up and running, so I've backed off from the planes a little bit. Not to worry, there will be planes. Once this is out of the way, it will, you know, I'll probably break it up, try and do a tank, a piece of armour, maybe a truck, and split that up with planes. And I still have a lot of planes I want to do in the coming weeks, so stay tuned for that. Don't worry if it's all a bit tracks and wheels as opposed to wings. But it is coming. I'm currently actually on the bench. I've got I'm going through a bit of a stalled project, which is a Heinkel HE70. So the Blitz, which is a funny little plane. It's where the Spitfire got nicked the idea for the elliptical wing. So that looks a little bit like this. So that's a nice kit. Not guaranteeing I'll have that finished. It's been it's one of those that goes on the shelf for a while, comes off a little bit done, then goes back again. I do have a few builds that I'll be doing for group builds that are upcoming. So I've got this one, which I'll be doing with quite a lot of extras for Ian Poulton's group build, which is UK Scale Modeler is hosting a new group build starting on February the 1st, which is for foreign it's the foreign group build, so planes, tanks, whatever it is, as long as it's not in its initial release, so i.e. not a German Messerschmitt, I will be doing a Swiss Messerschmitt. I'll be backdating this Airfix kit back to an E3 with a vac-form canopy, and I've got all sorts of extras to throw at it. For no other reason than I managed to score quite a lot of this on eBay. I bought a whole box of stuff for I think about a tenner, and it was like 5 etch sets and loads of quick boost stuff. I'll even be replacing the tail wheel for no reason other than the fact that I've got it, so I'm sure the tail wheel in the kit is perfectly adequate. So that should be quite fun. And the Swiss 109s are very colourful with the red and white stripes. So that's an aircraft that will be coming shortly. Then I've got some tanks on the go, which I've shown before. I've just picked this one up, which is the Ferdinand, which is a nice kit, very nice kit. Done a review on that. That's for the Kursk group build for Cohen and My Modelling World's channels. They're hosting a group build for Kursk. And then there might be all sorts of things I'm going to throw in. I've been looking at numerous kits I've got here in the stash. I would like to do the Airfix P51, the 148th one. It had just been released late last year. I will be doing the Sea Fury when it is actually finally out from Airfix. That is a kit that isn't really a sort of aircraft that I know much about or interested me too much. Until recently, I actually saw it fly over when I was working somewhere, because I'm not very far from Yeovilton. I'm about 5 miles from, 5 or 10 miles from Yeovilton is where I live, and the Sea Fury flew over, and that will be the one I'll be making for a friend who has a particular fondness for that actual aircraft that's based at Yeovilton, and that is one of the decal options that is in the Sea Fury kit. So I will be building that one straight out of the box. Probably as soon as it arrives. Very simple paint scheme, 2 colours, one underneath, one on the top, so should be a really nice build. So that'll be something a little bit different. I don't do much RAF. Haven't got much of a fondness for RAF, which I know is sacrilege probably, but I'm much more a German Luftwaffe kind of guy. So that's something that's coming up, which I haven't mentioned. I have mentioned the Kursk group build, so we've got a couple of tanks coming up for that. And yeah, that's probably it for kits that are coming. I won't commit myself to too much. Who knows? You'll see it pop up. We've got the big ship that I'll be starting after Bovington. I've set the deadline there, so once I've got to Bovington, done the show, middle of February, I'm going to clear the bench and have the ship on the go in the background. So that's the Graf Spee from Academy with all the bells and whistles. So a few other bits on my list of business. Someone has commented, and I've had a few messages just saying to give a studio tour, which is not much of a studio here, but I can certainly maybe run through some of the paints I use and have a look at have a look at the desk. Some of the kits in the stash, I might do something like that and chuck that up on YouTube, so you'll see what that's like. I have been contemplating trying to get a specific weekly update, so just something that's you know, sort of short video, about 5 minutes, and chuck up a weekly video. That's more for me, I think, than you. I don't know what the viewing would be of it, but it will mean I can get in here when I'm a bit knackered after work. You know, it gives me an excuse to get in here, sit in front of the camera, ramble on about modelling for a little bit, and see how that goes. So that may happen, and I'll try and stick to that if that does. And I think that's more or less it for the January update. So I've not got much to show you at the minute, but hopefully I'm going to crack on with the Condor, get that one finished, get a few other bits finished off, and hopefully there'll be plenty for you to see over the coming weeks on the channel. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in February.